Nieto, your blog is Thinking Pinoy.
Yes, sir.
And then you, in one of your blogs, I think in 2016, you said that you wrote an article about the reasons why LP needs to assassinate Duterte.
Yes.
That's an opinion, right?
Yes, it is. Thinking Pinoy,
You had no facts to buttress that opinion?
Mr. Senator.
Because that is a serious statement.
Yes. Thinking Pinoy, sir, is a political...
So are there were there facts? Did you provide facts for you to be able to somehow conclude that the LP needs to assassinate President Duterte?
Actually, sir, I can answer that if you'll just let me talk, with all due respect.
Yeah, I will let you talk. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
That's why I'm asking.
Thinking Pinoy is a political opinion blog, and I like imagining scenarios based on what I think is how people would act. I try to understand human nature. So when I wrote that particular post about why LP would need to assassinate Duterte, I'm not saying that LP will assassinate Duterte. What I'm saying here is what are the incentives behind doing that? So it's basically more like, for a business, it's like continuity planning, seeing contingencies, preparing for the worst. But I'm not saying that it will actually happen. And I'm not saying that LP intends to do that.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Of course, I'm saying this in the context of many events that have taken place in the last several months, wherein the LP has been the whipping boy of those who feel that threatened by our dissent or our criticisms. Lahat na lang sa amin sinisisi. Nung hindi na-confirm si Secretary Yasay, may LPD stab daw. Meron daw 100 million pondo na para daw sa mga testigo. Sabi ng Department of Justice, LP daw ang gumawa nun. No? Napaka-conveniente. So it somehow falls into that kind of framing, no? That the LP needs to assassinate Duterte. Also, here you said, Thinking Pinoy 2016,
yes, sir.
An alleged plan by Liberal Party to take over government.
Which particular article was that, sir?
It says, oust Duterte, Laila, Lenny, Lourdes, Loida, LP, People Power Duterte.
Yes.
So you confirm that you also wrote this article?
Yes, I wrote that article, but it's also an analysis of possibilities. So basically, what I tried to do in that article is to look for possibilities. Yeah. I'm not saying that they are certainties, but in the viewpoint of information that's available to the public, that's what a normal thinking person on the street would conclude. But as far as I can see, I never made any allegations there of people plotting whatever.
Well, another question. No? Earlier, Senator Binay raised the question of being compensated, and all of you said you were not being compensated during the elections.
Yes.
Are you being compensated now by government?
Right now, I am a consultant for the Department of Foreign Affairs. I am the head of strategic communications content of the Office of the Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs. Initially, I wanted to work there pro bono because I don't want to get hit just like how Mocha got hit when somebody says she earns like 100,000 a month.
How much are you receiving?
Right now, it's just 12,000 pesos a month, a very nominal amount.
Mm-hmm. So you are now a consultant?
Yes, just a consultant for DFA OMWA.
Head of the strategic communications.
Yes, sir.
So in the same discussion earlier, you are now a consultant working in government.
Yes.
And therefore, arguably, not arguably, I would say, you are also covered by the Code of Conduct of public workers and public officials and employees. In the same way that ASEC Uson is also covered by the Code of Conduct. You're receiving 12,000 pesos a month as a consultant. Do you have people under you?
No.
So you work on your own?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have any, do you have an office?
No, not really.
Okay, so you work,
So basically what happens here is I just help communicate the updates of the Office of of OMWA to my OFWs, and that's it. So
yes, okay.
Yeah.
Now that you are in, you are now a consultant in government.
Yes.
I would raise the same issues as earlier raised with ASEC Mocha Uson. Hindi na pwedeng vlogger lang na pwedeng kahit ano isulat. Dahil nga head ka na ng strategic communication ng isang sensitibong departamento ng ating gobyerno.
Ano po?
No?
Ma'am, sir, consultant lang ako. Yung sinabing head, pakyut lang na position title yun. Pero
Nakalagay dito, sorry, kasi ang nakalagay dito is the head of the strategic communications under office of, galing sa opisina, galing sa blog mo to eh.
Well, with all due respect, Mr. Senator, I think I don't lose my right to free speech when I join.
Wait, let me clarify before we go through that. This is in your blog. You said you are head of strategic communications under the office of Undersecretary for Migrant Workers. Right? Right?
Yes.
This is your blog.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So, and now you're saying, yes, I am the head of the strategic communication, but I am still blog. That's your position?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, well, we disagree. No, because obviously, since you are now earning from taxpayers' money, you are now part of our government bureaucracy as a consultant, you will have to be, you are covered by the laws. Just as we senators are covered by, free speech is not absolute.
Yes, sir.
And we in the Senate can be held accountable through a ethics case if we abuse. Pagka inabuso namin ang aming pananalita, if it is unparliamentary, if it is offensive. In fact, our rules say pagka merong offensive language, this is unparliamentary and we can be subjected to an ethics case.
Mr. Senator, and with all due respect, I think it's not a crime to hurt feelings. And if the good senator feels that I have broken any law, or if
No, I am not. May I correct that misimpression? I'm not saying you've broken any law. I am just clarifying your position in government
okay.
and the possible consequences or the possible and the obligations and duties and responsibilities. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay po.
So, ayan may mga ganyang post na sinabi mo, basically yung nakalink doon, Kokoy Gate, parang you're implying na dati gusto ko kayong patawag, ngayon hindi ko na kayo pinapatawag. So, that's not accurate at all. And yun na nga, no?
Sir, just to clarify, your name was never mentioned there, and your
Yes,
picture.
but tingnan mo yung picture ko.
Note how, well, that is how you appreciate. In fairness, sir, maganda na may post mo dyan, di ba? But with all due respect, Mr. Senator, ginamit ko yung picture mo dyan po dahil kayo yung nag-file ng resolution.
Precisely, and that's why I am here.
Yes.
And ako nag-request dito dahil sabi ko nga, lahat tayo biktima rito. And it's getting bad. Alam nyo, probably ako siguro yung most bashed na Pilipino ngayon eh. Pero sa akin, what I do is I ignore them. Hindi ko binabasa, di ba? Ngayon, pero pag kami nag-overboard, talagang kakasuhan ko ng cybercrime, libel. And I also agree with sila Senator Soto, above board din yon. Kumaga, it went beyond the limits of toleration. So hindi rin namin tinotolerate, hindi ko mo pro or anti-Duterte kung sino, pero pag mali. Kumaga, it goes for everyone. Ito sinasabi mo rito, while hindi mo nga sinulat yung pangalan ko, pero yung mensahe mo is basically ako yan, di ba?
Mr. Senator, with all due respect, how you interpret what's shown in front of you is not really my problem, but if you think that I committed libel
it's
against
not my
you.
problem at all.
Sir,
No,
but if you...
in fact, hindi ko nga binasa yan. Ngayon lang nilabas yan ng staff ko. So, ngayon ko lang ina-address yun sa'yo.
Yes, sir, but respectfully, if you feel that I've committed libel against you, I respect your option
Ang sinasabi ko
to
rito
sue me.
is the intention to deceive.
Sir, wala naman sa
Iba
batas
kasi yung ano ka eh, nagva-violate ka ng batas, iba yung nagdi-deceive ka. Some smart people or those who actually feel that they're smart tend to skirt around the law, but the end result is the same. They're deceiving people. Anyway, moving to the next slide.
Part of it was the fact that the Duterte campaign was able to convert their SOCMED campaign into a public, transported into the government mechanism. And so if you try to analyze the way they operate, there seems to be a coordinated effort on the part of the government speakers, people from the PCO, and some of these consultants like Nieto, right? And a large group of people who don't seem to come from government. When I attended the hearing, I was surprised that, they had a battalion of people who...
That's true. A lot of them are already in government, actually.
Exactly. And so it's become some kind of a machinery. And the protection provided by the president, I think, has rather emboldened them. And so we are rather unique. There's some kind of impunity here in the Philippines precisely because you don't normally see governments fully embracing an army of consultants and government officials who have a reputation for these sorts of things.
So it's really also, coming together of a certain mindset.
That's right.
Also
right.
technology.
I mean, I cannot imagine, for example, any other administration, starting from, say, Correquino, Ramos, Estrada, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, and Benigno Aquino III. Right? Fully embracing and bringing into the government, providing government access to a group of people who act as widely as these guys do.
Right. Did you, when you saw some of them in the Senate, did you actually get a chance to ask them, where are you getting the information that you've been...
No. Well, I didn't know a lot of them. I recognized some lawyers who are from the UP College of Law, providing legal advice.
To them?
Yes, I think one of them is suspended lawyer Trixie Angeles.
Okay.
There's another person, I think he was my former student. And so they're a cohesive group of people who are performing a role. I can imagine that they are handsomely paid for it, right? And then they have won the battle many times over. That's why they feel rather confident.
People who